Fine. See the same question, like it's a GS paper 2 type question. Ineffectiveness of legislative control over administration can stem from various factors. Hence, in ensuring effectiveness, a comprehensive approach is the need of the hour. Obviously, we cannot presume that legislature is effective by its very system, right? That system that is designed. So legislative control over executive is necessary part of parliamentary democracy. That is one aspect. Legislative control, what are the various elements of legislative accountability, making the administration and executive accountable to legislature, what are the elements, right? So you have committee system, you have budgetary system, you have passage of bills, no confidence motion, censure motion, and ethics committee. You have various type of parliamentary accounts committee, estimates committee, departmentally related standing committees, right? You have various mechanisms by which it can be made effective. Fine. Obviously, you can also bring that when you read the constitutional provision, you realize basically ultimately what is Council of Minister. The Council of Minister is primarily a product or is a child of the legislature. Fine. So it's the parliament that causes the formation of COM, right? So in many ways, we can make the legislation or executive, answerable to legislature, the parliament or legislature. But then there are emerging aspects like delegated legislation. It is giving more autonomy to executive and administration. Laymanship of the parliament, right? The parliamentarians are laymen in terms of skills, in terms of specialized focus. I'm not talking about Shashi Tharoor and other people, right? So, or Mahua Moitra and others, right? So they are laymen in general, and obviously there is a difference in the level of knowledge and information that they have, or executive and administration has, and legislatures have. Fine. Thirdly, like I said, erosion of the parliamentary control because of anti-defection law, right? Because of member of parliament working more as member of political party. Ineffectiveness of parliament because of lack of leader of opposition, as we have seen for quite some time. So that effectiveness of opposition is equally necessary, right? Emergence of coalition politics. Yes, we have alliances now. So most of the regional parties, most of the smaller parties which might represent very strong public issues, right? They are not very eager to present a very, what you can say, neutral and ethical debates in the parliament, right? So there are less of debates and discussions, and more or less governments are taking the criticisms not in a very pleasant manner. So lack of effective opposition and lack of effective criticism, especially because of coalition and pre-poll and post-poll alliances. Fine. Then another aspect would be that obviously how the legislatures, how the governments have resorted to the idea of ordinances. So legislative control has reduced because of frequent ordinances that have taken place. Eventually there is a provision, right, to approve it, but still you see the process. Why governments will go for ordinances? So that legislative scrutiny can be avoided, right? Most of the parliamentary committees do not have power to punish. Then obviously CAG, the Parliamentary Accounts Committee, but again, the CAG report is caused to be laid in the parliament by the president. And obviously there is no time frame for that. So that effectiveness also reduces. Most of the committee's evaluation is a post-mortem work that also reduces. Lack of Rajya Sabha's role in financial scrutiny in budgetary process. Fine. Then judicial review, judicial intervention, judicial encroachment is also one of the reasons for lack of parliamentary control or effective legislative control. Fine. Lawmaking more or less now has indirectly been a domain of the judiciary. Fine. Approval of laws and making the laws void, using certain grounds for denying the legislatures the power to make such laws which they want to, using various other grounds of public interest and likewise. So there have been a growing conflict in that sense. So judicial interventions and encroachment have also diluted the power of legislature. Then the prime minister's influence, as you know, charismatic leaders like prime minister, they have also, as prime minister is part of the legislature, which he should not be. If he is part of the legislature, he can duly influence the parliament, right? Especially when you talk about that we are a majority-based system. So you can bring a lot of perspectives that how it is declining also the parliamentary effectiveness in terms of functioning. Hardly the parliaments have functioned for 70 days average out of 160 or 170 which was needed. Composition of the parliament, lack of women representatives thanks to the law which they have made. But still, right, its implementation effectiveness, when it will be visible, we don't know. So lack of composition, effective composition, right, criminalization of legislature. So there are various factors, cash for query, unethical means, lack of effective ethical codes. For example, in Canada, Ireland, and many countries, you will find the idea of ethics commissioner for parliament, right? Parliamentary budget councils and monitoring systems. If these are maybe introduced here, then probably the effectiveness of the parliament may increase. Fine. Though you should always agree that parliamentary control is fundamental, it is primary, and judicial control will only come after that. Fine. So you can write it. It could have been written very well. Any good student of PUBAD or for that matter General Studies paper 2 can write this answer very well.